off the heels of the excitement of one of the all-time great events from Alex Pereira getting a first-round knockout with a polite little boot to the face to Max Holloway going to war. Boys, where do we start with this card? Where do we want to sink our teeth into? Because every fight was good up and down this card. And we'll talk about the boring ones too. But guys, where do we start here?
I'll start off with this, yeah? So, if Max Holloway tells you to point to the ground, don't fucking swing, man. Whatever you do, you know, it looks good. It looks good for the camera. Away. Just don't fucking do it, man. Just run away, jab him, run away for the last 10 seconds, man. If you lost the fight, just yeah, you don't want to get knocked out as well. But yeah, that's one of the big takeaways.
I was going to say, though, we got to talk about the fact that when they say risked it all, Max risked it all. Like, don't get me wrong, he's the best boxer. But he knew he was up in that fight and everything like that. And he thought, nah, we're going to go for it. Let's just do it. Why not? And I was like, yo, that's ballsy. And then the outcome of it, like I saw a ticket where someone had Holloway by decision. And I just thought, oh, you got beat. You got the bad beat. You got the bad beat with 1 second to go. Yeah, like Max Holloway
was crying inside.
For that fake Spanish guy, but we talk about that soon.
No, I mean, that's the number one moment of UFC 300 for me, man. The Max Holloway. And, you know, in all honesty, guys, I was expecting Max Holloway to get finished for the first time. Like, this, I genuinely thought he was going to get finished. Absolutely. In fact, good, you know, kind of crazy statistic. Justin Gaethje is the first person that's ever dropped Max Holloway in all of his professional fights. So despite the fact Max Holloway dominated, Justin Gaethje is going to Justin Gaethje, man. That was great.
You know what the awkward thing is about that? Because I think I said in one of the group chats, at first I was just like, damn, because I think he dropped him in the fourth, and I was just like, do you know what? The clock is ticking. But, however, once I saw that it was a temple shot and not an actual, like, on the chin, that's when I was just like, do you know what? Holloway's good, man. I said, all he needed, he survived the round. I said, get a minute just to get your bearings about, and then he came back round 5 back into it again. So listen, man, I'm putting all my stocks into Holloway 4.0, man. I'm that's it.
I've got
all my money.
You know, if it's not Volkanovski, Max can win. And right now, that's what we see. We see that as long as it's not Volkanovski, he can win.
No. This is listen. I told you, all stocks are in. Max 4.0 beats everyone.
I will say this, like, it was one shot.
He might get Ilya out. The way he was looking, he might get Ilya out of here. But we're all over the place.
Yeah.
Tim,
sorry, good.
Let's break down the fight itself a little bit here, because I think most of us who weren't, once you remove the fandom, most people were probably picking Justin Gaethje, as I was as well. He shows strong leg kicks where Max quite often is showing weakness to leg kicks. And I thought he would just wear him down with the heavier weight class, as we saw him struggle against Dustin Poirier. But instead, what we saw is Max Holloway out-punching him, putting pressure, forcing Justin Gaethje to get on the back foot so he was unable to kick. Now, every kick that landed made a massive difference, but absolutely incredible stuff. And not only that, but Max Holloway isn't a one-punch knockout machine. This was, again, adjustment. We're entering like another, like you guys were saying, 4.0. This is another prime for Max Holloway at this point. But let's do the, right, let's start with you here. Going through the whole fight here, what were you thinking of? Like, oh my God, Max is actually doing this. This is absolutely bananas.
I was just like watching it, thinking to myself, this can't be this. I remember I always say this about fighting Justin Gaethje, and to be fair, this did happen to Max. I'm getting tongue twisted. However, it wasn't the same as usual, because I always say whenever you face Justin Gaethje, you will never leave the same. You will always take a substantial amount of damage. For Max, I think his leg endurance is just ungodly, because his leg was getting chewed up and he just still kept on going forward like it's nothing. And I know that he's probably going to have to take some extensional time off for that to heal. But the tactic of like this, all right, as long as the leg kick might be there for him, but everything else I'm going to neutralize, that's a hard game plan to stick to, because I'm sure internally he is screaming with his leg in pain, but he just took it so that he can execute the rest of his other game plan. The spinning back kick every single time that Justin Gaethje would lean his head down. Whoo!
So good.
Through the middle every single time. Excellent.
I think
Unreal.
one thing I will say is I'm not going to say it was lucky or anything like that, but it was unfortunate for Justin Gaethje that the shot that lands basically breaks his nose in the first round.
Yep.
And then automatically on the back foot, like whatever you wanted to execute, you have this nose that's just constantly bleeding. You're struggling with everything.
You can't breathe. You can't blow your nose.
And then you become a sitting target. As much as you are trying to be advancing, you have to then realize, okay, wait a minute. I can't really execute as I want to because I have this thing right. It's like a red arrow to like hit me straight away. And then obviously we always say Max is the best boxer in the UFC. And then he executes it. And as you said, he's not a knockout artist. When he hits, he touches you, constantly touches you. And if anything, in a situation like that, that's probably going to be more painful than just getting knocked out straight away. And
for sure.
So it was a bit unfortunate, but again, you can't say unfortunate and take anything away from Max Holloway. Fully deserved it. And again, like Ray said, Max 4.0, when the chips are down, something happens, he raises back up and he's back there. He's, again, title shot. He's back in the mix. Arguably going to probably go back and face Ilya Topuria, beat him potentially. I think he can do, as long as you avoid Volkanovski, you're still the best in the division.
Yeah.
Ash, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, with that as well, that spinning back kick, I don't think people are putting as much emphasis as I would like, but that was just brutal, man. Like the first kick basically kind of changed the trajectory of the fight, as you mentioned, man. Like, you know, his nose was bleeding. He probably had to breathe through his mouth a lot of the time. And Justin Gaethje's got an insane chin, you know, but if you take accumulation shots over the space of round 2, 3, 4, and then the 5, you're going to get knocked out, man. Like, it's just going to happen. And then you got Max Holloway that's pointing to the ground, and then you decide to go in a brawl. It's just bad, man. It's a bad call. Also, you know something? Yeah, something I was really kind of, I was really surprised with, but then I thought, wait, this is a bad motherfucker title. It makes sense. Justin Gaethje could have gone for takedowns, man. He could have gone for takedowns, and he could have taken Max down, and he could have won like that. But he decided, nah, I'm just going to stand with you. No?
I wouldn't say this. I think they also said on commentary as well that if you look at Gaethje, he has to breathe through his mouth. And if you saw it, if you watch it, his mouth is constantly open. There's that little airflow. And it's like, okay, it's one of them things. If I make it through, if I can nick it around like round 4, you can say he wins type of thing. What can I do? And like you said, with Max called to shoot it down for the final 10 seconds, you might as well do it because you've lost the fight. So just give it your best shot. If it turns out your favor, fair enough. But obviously, we saw the outcome. And like you guys said, probably the best knockout we'll see in 2024.
Easily.
And the story behind it and everything like that. And I feel like Mark Coleman putting in on the BMF title, putting the belt around him was so cool. And I also feel like when you look back through a lot of UFC champions histories, you get a lot of the first titles being kind of messy. Like Dave Monet was once a champion, and like I couldn't tell you anything about Dave Monet kind of thing. but like what I mean is like the first few BMF titles, they were pretty good. The third BMF title, putting that on Max Holloway in the fight, that has legitimized the BMF title. But here's what I want to think next.
Asia, UFC 300, like when they do the vignettes and they go back to it, it's like Max Holloway, UFC 300, BMF time period. You got Joe Rogan screaming crazy, like it just hits.
Man, here's the thing. There's so many good options ahead of Max, whether he wants to drop to 145 and maybe look at a title, whether he wants to keep competing at 155. Let's get into what is next for Max, because whatever he does is badass, and whatever he does next is going to sell big. But let me throw at you guys this: a BMF title on the line against Conor. Okay, guys, go. What do you, Ash? Go ahead. I'll shut up now.
Get the fuck out of here, Tim. You're getting promoted. You're getting promoted, and that's a great idea. And fuck anyone who doesn't think that. That's it.
Listen,
that's it. Fuck Max Holloway versus Conor McGregor. BMF title, baby.
Max Holloway. Listen, as long as Max can get that big payday, salute to him. This is if Conor got you on his featherweight title run, this is the best time to face him, because this is the revenge tour for all the losses. because Dustin Poirier's got his lick back twice. Max Holloway could maybe. Let me not even bring up Dennis Seaver and disrespect him. Jose Aldo might even come up and say, "Do you know what? Let me face Conor right now." Hell, even who else might be there? No, Chad Mendes will still get knocked. But yeah. Either way, but that I think BMF, if Holloway was to lose against Topuria and Connor's trying to find an opponent, that could be a good shout. Or even look, Dos Anjos might say, "Guess what, Connor? Let's go back the original Red Panty night." Yeah.
Ooh, I like that.
The only thing I'd say is like the selling point is the fact that it's Conor McGregor. So when loser draw against Chandler, it's still Conor McGregor. So it will still work. But I think it loses a little bit of shine if he does lose to Chandler at UFC 203.
Yes.
I think it loses the shine of it. He needs to beat him, but he also needs to beat him for me.
I hope McGregor ices Chandler so much.
Then be like, yo.
Why do you hate Chandler so much, man? I don't
Such
understand.
a brown noser. I can't stand a brown noser.
Well, he's a loyalist to the UFC, isn't he?
He's
Or
like
whoever's
a
paying
proper
him.
brown noser. Like it's nasty. It is so nasty. Like, have some dignity, man. He's such a brown noser. I can't stand him. I was so happy when Poirier banged him. Especially tried to fish hook him, tried to grab his gloves. He snotted his blood on him. I'm like, such a nasty. And then he tried to call Poirier the bad guy. F off, man.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
what you
I'm
get, bro.
not even a big fan of Poirier, but I kind of sided with
That I don't understand, but that's it. And then he tried to even chat rubbish about Oliveira when he lost to Islam and tried to say, "Islam, I'll give you a better fight." I'm like, we just saw what Oliveira done to you, jackass. Shut up, man. Sorry.
No, I think the important thing to recognize with Michael Chandler is that he's only using this in the UFC and MMA to really elevate his TED Talk career.
His promos ain't even all that. People are just hyping it because he's like, he does the whole.
I don't know if you guys saw it when he was in the WWE and he tried to do his little promo.
I didn't watch that. What happened?
Yeah.
It's just get that weak promo out of here, man. It's not a good. This is what he does, yeah. Chandler's promo is more like he starts shouting at the top of his lungs, then he starts saying red, white, and blue. The middle America's like, yeah, and then it's just like, man, get that the F out of here, man. He ain't good at promos. He just knows how to rile up a crowd, man.
Yeah, it's true. It's the voice and tonality. Conor McGregor.
Yeah, man, get that Homelander mother effer out of here, man.
Homelander, that is if he was Homelander guy, it's like, you're kind of the bad guy dickhead, right?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's John Day is the Homelander of MMA.
Nah,
him or Strickland.
John Jones. John really does believe that he is the good guy.
No. Oh, actually, you're right. No. There's a difference though. Homelander knows he's a crappy guy. He just knows he has to put on good PR. John Jones honestly thinks John Jones is what's the other word I avert him right now. What is the guy that they made for Homelander to beat up, the original guy?
Oh, I know you're talking about.
Soldier.
Yeah.
Yeah, him. But we digress.
Going back to this though.
Sorry, I was actually going to get into it there. So John Jones. No, go ahead, Ash. Jump back in. Get us back in here.
Okay, I know Conor. I've just got a massive hard on for Conor to always come back, but no pause. Realistically,
no Diddy, no pause, no nothing.
Fair enough, man. No Diddy. Let's keep going.
But realistically, I think for numbers and what makes sense for the UFC, you got to do Max Holloway as Ilia Topuria, man. Come on, man. That's a great fight.
There's literally when Topuria tried to dump on the featherweight division and tried to say this and the third. Before I was like, let him cook because he's building up something. He's cooking, and because the fact that he beat Volkanovski the way he did, it was almost like, you know what? You just gotta let him say what he's gotta say because he walked the walk after talking the talk. However, when someone puts on a performance like Max did, you shut your mouth and you do not tell no one, and you cannot deny Max Holloway, because that man put on such an unbelievable performance in a weight class above that you cannot at any means say that Max doesn't deserve anything at featherweight. Especially, this is one of the featherweight goats. This is Mount Rushmore of featherweights.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Topuria, you're gonna have to meet your mater.
I personally think they will go down that route. That like you guys said, it makes sense. Then obviously on the lightweight side, that's all wrapped up anyway in terms of Justin and his stats. So it just makes sense for me to let's.
Oh, quick side note after you said that, because I was saying this to Ash. Let's wrap up this chaos, because I feel like we're just going in a melee of different things, but you know, the excitement of post 300.
It's true. It's true.
I feel so sorry for Justin Gaethje, because he
Bro.
should have been fighting for a lightweight title shot. Now he's seeing the person that he knocked out get that title shot.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I hope that BMF title shot. I mean, I hope that BMF title fight got him paid well.
Oh man.
Because he should have been facing Max. And the funny thing is, Max Holloway was the one that called it. He said, you should have been facing Islam in February. I don't understand why he wasn't facing Islam in February. And now Justin's lost his shot.
Yeah.
He probably not going to get another title shot. And you know me, all stocks on Dustin Poirier. Is he the favorite? No. But that's my guy, and I'm going to support him. Jump the Gilly movement 2024. Dustin Poirier for champion 2024.
I was going to say, just quickly on your point, I thought about it going into this fight, because Max is the brand of Max Holloway. Like, there's something about Max Holloway. Like, he just resonates with fans, but also the casual fan as well. Gaethje does, but not as much. And I felt like in this fight as well, he needed to win this a lot more, because if he didn't, the UFC could put a side eye to him to be like, okay, you're going to have to work a little bit more for it. Whereas Max can, in some ways, like I said, moving up, can slide his way back in. As long as I always said, as long as Volkanovski wasn't champion, there's always an avenue for him to get a title shot. So again, like you guys say, like there was a lot more pressure in Gaethje to win this particular fight as well. And you said he came in as the overwhelming favorite.
Yeah, Gaethje, always kind of the falling second place kind of guy when he's really over the top kind of thing. When he's really should have been pushed over the top a bunch of times.
The Cinderella story doesn't get completed.
I think I saw a meme though the other day, and I'll be very brief. Justin Gaethje, he risked his health, his status in terms of his ranking, and yeah, he basically just gave all these things up, just to give the people what they want. And I can officially say that I'm a Justin Gaethje fan. I was never a huge fan before. I thought he was great, but I'm not like, oh my god, Justin Gaethje. But now I can say, guys are done.
Yeah, no, he's awesome. He's going to war with Eddie Alvarez's, going to war with Dustin Poirier's a bunch of times, beating up, pretty much changing the trajectory of Tony Ferguson's career. But once you hear him in interviews, you're like, this guy's a caveman.
Max Holloway did to Justin Gaethje what Justin Gaethje did to Tony Ferguson, man.
Yeah.
Nah, let's not.
I'm telling you, no. Watch the next two fights, bro. I'm telling you, Justin Gaethje is not going to be the same man again, man.
Do you know what?
Brother, you can be like number one forever.
Let's see. For me, maybe it's because of the Apex as well and the timing. I remember that was like obviously the pandemic, and in the completely empty Apex, you could hear every thudding shot. Yeah. And the worst thing about Justin Gaethje, he doesn't always have knockout power. It's just thudding power. And I remember with Ferguson, it's the culmination of the thudding shots every single time. Because even remember, he didn't actually get knocked out. It was like he got hit in the fifth, I remember. And it's like his body just jolted. And I remember Herb Dean was just like, I don't care how tough you are, stop the fight. Whereas Max, he peppered him throughout, but it wasn't like a complete slugging. But like you said, we'll have to wait and see the next fight. Will Justin get put out? But sorry, Tim, we keep on derailing this.
No, not at all. I love that. So I would say like with the Tony Ferguson fight and you have Justin Gaethje, Tony Ferguson, and then you have Justin Gaethje, Max Holloway. I would show someone who's new to the sport Justin Gaethje, Max Holloway, because you can see like, oh, one guy's way better than the other, but this is a war. Whereas I wouldn't show that same Tony Ferguson and Justin Gaethje fight, because they would just be like, oh, so we're just sentencing this man to death? Is that what I'm witnessing for 25 minutes here? And they wouldn't be a fan after that, because, man, I feel bad about that.
That was
Ferguson.
a
I'm still
shellacking.
sad about that.
Yeah. And I don't even like Ferguson, but that was hard to watch.
Yeah, I don't get that, man. Fuck me.
You don't like Tony Ferguson?
As a fighter, yes. As a person, he's just a weirdo, and
He's a very weird human.
Hey, he follows the show. Shut the fuck up.
Sorry, listen. If there's any consolation, T-Ferg, do not get angry at the show. This is me saying it, and Abbas.
Yeah.
It's right. He's not listening.
Tim and Ash love you.
If you come down to Manchester, let us know. We'll have a conversation. Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck Ray and Abbas.
All right, let's move up to the main event here. Alex Pereira does a very polite knockout against Jamahal Hill. It wasn't a major windup or anything like that, but the highlight, the 10 seconds of like clearly kicked in the cup, you could hear it. No, I'm good. Polite boop to the face. That's it. First round knockout. A guy from middleweight going up to light heavyweight, defending his title, defeating the former champion. What do you guys think of the fight? What's next for him? All that good stuff. Ash, I'll start with you.
I just feel embarrassed about this, man, because all this this whole week here, I was envisioning it, I was seeing it. I was like, nah, Jamahal Hill is that guy. I'm telling you, man, he's got knockout power in his hands. But even despite the fact that I said, it's a little bit worrying, man. Jamahal Hill wants to stand with Alex Pereira. I don't think he's really going to be doing that. I think he's going to mix it up. Even those 3 minutes here where they went into a kickboxing kind of fight, it was so ill-advised, man. I'm like, all right, he's leg kicking him. Where's the takedown? Gonna take him down now. Come on, Hill, take him down. Instead, he just decided to get into that rhythm of a kickboxing fight. And I think I looked at the sequence here where he pushes Herb Dean to the side a little bit. He saw that. I think he saw that Jamahal Hill's right hand here was just basically all the way down. So he saw that left hook here, counter, and he's like, nah, get out of here, man. Let me just fucking sleep this guy. But yeah, it was just embarrassing, man. On Hill's part, like he didn't look like he'd belonged there.
I was gonna say it felt like, and it's such a weird way. It felt like a cute knockout.
Yeah,
like, I'm just gonna quietly just end this fight now, and it was like he felt like he was in control. It was like, no, don't worry about it. And to your point as well, like if you do watch it back, they touch gloves for a second. Then after he's like, right, I've got the opening. Like you're just giving me the shot. Yeah. After that, like you said, it was just as it is. Like it's weird. It's the main event, but there's not much to talk about because not a lot really happened. And that's the weird thing when it comes to UFC more probably than boxing or MMA. It's the fact that you can have hardly anything to talk about because it just ends like that. And that's potentially what happened in this fight. Like I said, I think for Alex Pereira right now, headlining UFC 300, I think the UFC, as much as they had a MMA superstar, they have the ability to elevate him to that level where he can cross over. And I think if one of the takeaways from this event is, okay, we have a potential crossover stuff where we don't need to rely on Conor and stuff like that constantly, even though he's arguably still the biggest live star there. Let's push this now. We have a guy, like you said, gone up multiple divisions, world champion, let's keep it going. Let's keep that momentum going. And there is one particular way to do that, which we'll talk about soon, but I don't know how feasible it is, but it's doable to a point.
Yeah.
Ray, what do you make of it?
I'm upset, and Ash knows why. That's why when he was saying
I made him a fan, bro.
Ash made me a fan. I'm being so serious.
Of Jamahal?
Literally throughout the whole week, Ash just kept on going, no, Ray, you don't understand. Sweet hands this, and obviously I'm not on social, so they start sending me clips of him, and it's like I didn't know he's got this personality, so I'm just like, do you know what? He's funny. The weight cutting video he done was hilarious.
Oh my god!
When he got the water and started rubbing in his gums like his, and I was just like, this is, I said, and Ash was just like, no, you don't understand. I was watching him in Contender Series. He's like this, he's like that. And I said,
okay.
I told Ash, I said, you're speaking on him like how I was telling people about Leon Edwards. And you can ask Ash, I was saying for years upon years, Leon will be the guy.
Here we go again. Here we go again. Every show.
I was telling them I'll never let it rest. But no, Ashley was giving me that same energy of, listen,
Bro.
Jamahal here, this was it. And I bought stocks. Don't get me wrong, I didn't put all my stocks into him. But I bought some stocks, and then the investment didn't go well. But you know what? I'm going to still leave some stocks in there because I'm interested to see the bounce back.
Oh,
I'm interested to see the bounce back.
Do you know what I think it was as well? I think, sorry to interrupt you, but I think personally, it was two things. Yeah, number one, Alex Pereira hits, like, I know he hits hard, with his left hand. I genuinely thought, and probably stupidly, I thought Jamahal Hill could probably take a couple of shots or 1 or 2 shots 100%. Yeah, he didn't even take it clean, boys. He took it like there.
It feels like a skim. Like,
but you also got to remember, he's coming up from middleweight and he's not weight drained. So imagine the power he had at middleweight. Now it's like you get your more natural power because you don't have to drain your body. But please, to a lot of the fighters out there, and I get it because you need the same ego to be great. You are mixed martial artists.
Yes.
Stop, and I mean this. Stop engaging with specialists in their own art form to prove a point. Especially, do you know what it is? When you do it so early in the fight when they're not tired, it's worse. Because don't get me wrong, I get it. Because it's the same way. I'm going to do it again, but here we are. When Leon fought Colby, he at least beat Colby up a bit. And then just to diminish Colby a bit more, he took him down. And I think that was good but it weren't. If Leon just came out straight out of the gate trying to wrestle him, I would have been like, what the hell are you doing? Like, stop that, stick to your game, mix things up. And I feel like what happens sometimes is like the same ego that drives these fighters to be great can be the biggest downfall. Because I'm sure a lot of them are probably thinking, what? No, he's not some great striker. I'm going to go out there and outstrike him. The guy just happens to be a double world champion in kickboxing. Why do you don't need to stand? I promise you, no one is going to, dislike you because you're being smart and being a mixed martial artist. Go out there, grapple him, and maybe strike him when he's tired. But the whole striking him when he's fresh.
How much do you guys, sorry to cut you off, do you think the bonuses factored into some of these guys just thinking like, yo, we could grab a bag here?
Nah, to be fair, Jamahal called it Jamahal said, as soon as the fight was happening, Jamahal said, I'm going to beat you up standing. I remember that. He called it.
I'm going to knock him out on the feet. That's what he said. It's embarrassing, man. I mean, I'll be honest. I love Jamahal, but that is very embarrassing, man, to say all these things. And in my opinion, I mentioned before, guys, I thought he was going to mix it up. I thought he was going to maybe push him against the cage, do a bit of a Randy Couture type of strategy, beating up with up. Do you know what I mean? There's so many things.
Day boxing, bring back day boxing.
Yeah, you think I'm going to kickbox this guy? He was getting some good calf kicks on Alex, but they were merely just
setting him up. Alex was just waiting. Right. He set the trap there. He said, "Let me let you feel like you're doing what you're doing."
Yeah.
And then let me let you get comfortable, hands a bit down. Brilliant. Bam. And then the celebration when he just went.
Yeah. We had a meme moment here from that is so
that
good.
That hurt me because at that point, Ash got me converted. I was a Jamahal Hill fan for that fight. And seeing that, I was just like, damn, I hate it had to be him.
Fucking upset, man.
But yeah, Alex Pereira, just one of the insane stories. Like, he started late. He wanted to be a boxer. He didn't really know what MMA was. And because of that, they gave him like a very limited skill set of like, we'll do the 3 things that you do well. And he'll just do it from kickboxing to MMA, and no one seems to be able to stop him. And just like in kickboxing to the UFC, he does get away with, like, middleweight and light heavyweight are notoriously weak across all those sports. And light heavyweight in the UFC is so weak. Like, he's already beaten Yuri, Jamahal Hill, and Jan Bohovic. So he's beaten pretty much the top 5 already. The only guy left is Magomed. Do we want?
Oh man,
actually, wait. Listen, Ash knows I despise that meathead.
He's a meathead, all right. Yeah.
Absolutely, the dumbest meat. Like, even when he got disqualified against, he should have got disqualified against Johnny Walker, not a DQ. Even when he done that, and then he started getting angry at Johnny Walker after the fact. I'm like, you done it. Like, stop. You can't get angry.
You broke the rule.
You broke the rule. It wasn't even like sometimes when they're trying to do that, they try to do the trick thing where they lift their hands off the floor and then put it back up. It's like, no. You went out there and intentionally fouled him in a very bad way. and you're still that much of a meathead that you got angry at him for like being upset. Like, what is wrong? He's such a meathead. However, I think this legitimizes. Let me not say legitimize, because Jamahal Hill was a legitimate win. But if Pereira gets win over Magomed, is it Magomed or Magomed?
Magomed Ankalaev.
Okay,
Yeah.
Magomed.
Yeah.
If Pereira gets a win over Magomed, then
Say.
we have to start looking at where Pereira ranks amongst the best like heavyweights.
Yeah.
clear it out,
Ooh, I don't know about that. Really?
No, don't. Jones is clear.
DC,
DC.
Chuck Liddell.
He might be able to. I don't.
You think he's bigger than Chuck Liddell? Really?
You think he's better than Shogun? Let's not do it. So wait,
Ooh.
Abbas, you had an idea. You were saying like there's a step to get him to superstardom. What were you saying there?
Well, this is what it actually came from my brother, so I'll give him a bit of credit for it. But when that bum finally relinquishes the title at heavyweight, get it done. If you can make the steps, you don't have you again, like you guys are saying, he doesn't have to kill his body, stuff like that. If you want to be the ultimate superstar, if the platform is available for you to do it, go make that one more move up to heavyweight.
Disclaimer.
But that bum that's holding the belt back.
Disclaimer. This is Abbas. This is the words of Abbas. As someone who has hate watched Jones for over a decade, I stopped hate watching Jones after the.
I can't forgive him for what he did to DC. He made him cry. Like, he hurts me to this day.
After he beat DC, I said there's no beating him. I said after that, I said there's no. You know that what's that Breaking Bad meme when he's just like you can't keep getting away with it? That's when I realized.
Yeah.
I said because he beat my guy Rashad Evans, and after that I was just like I can't have love for you because that's Rashad's my guy. And after every fight, I invested stock in every one of John Jones's opponent. And then after he beat DC so cleanly, I said, "There's no like he's the best, like he is."
No, fine. I'm getting from a hater point of view, but I'm just saying in general, if there was that opportunity,
I feel like Jones still beats him.
Oh, man, he smashes him, bro.
Yeah, I don't think Jones has the belt. I don't think Jones has the belt. I think once the belt goes from Jones, then you strategically look and is there an opportunity for me? If there is, and you can make it and you can compete, have the opportunity to become a genuine superstar.
And first 3-time UFC 3-belt champion. I wasn't going to say MMA because my guy in one championship done it. But Ash, that means we'd have to beat your guy Aspinall.
He's not going to beat Aspinall. Come on.
I don't know about Aspinall. I could see him competing very well against. Yes, Aspinall is like he's huge, grapple heavy, but I could see Pereira beating like Sergey Pavlovich, Stipe right now, Alexander Volkov, Jason Almeida, like no doubt. But Ash, go ahead. What do you think?
Yeah, I think if Aspinall has a fight, if Aspinall fights Pereira is gonna. I think Pereira has to do a period of time where not only does he adjust to the weight, he just has to do 8-9 months of solid resting and jiu-jitsu, man. Because I feel like Aspinall's skill level in terms of those areas alone, just far better than Alex Pereira's, man. So much better. And he's got the length, and he's got the striking to kind of close the gap and get that takedown. So horrible matchup for Alex Pereira. If they ever make that, it's just going to not be good.
I didn't want to say the irony that Pereira got his black belt in jiu-jitsu, knocking out Jamahal Hill.
Wait, what? Wait, is this true?
You don't see that?
No.
Did no one see that? Pereira got his black belt. Pereira got his black belt in jiu-jitsu after knocking out Hill, and it was the funniest.
He did not. No way. Look it up.
He did, yeah. Joe Rogan was like, fuck it, man.
What did you say, Abbas?
No, I think you're right. Yeah, I think I.
Yeah, listen, and listen. One thing I like about what Pereira's done, he has avenged his master, Glover Teixeira, twice now.
Yeah,
first he took out Ajiri, then he took out Jamahal Hill. Pereira said, "Anyone that touched Glover is now my problem," and he solved it. So it's so wholesome, man. Because it was wholesome seeing Glover become champion. Then it's now wholesome seeing Pereira avenge his. This is like some Jedi stuff right now, man.
And how about Alex Pereira avenging Anderson Silva, former training partner of his, against Israel Adesanya as well? Like there's just something about the career of Alex Pereira has just been like otherworldly, larger than life every step of
He's
the way.
fueled by hate. He's fueled by hate.
Bro. Yeah, man. Maybe it's the fucking just the upbringing as well and the drinking as well.
Yeah. No, Alex Pereira's banger. Zhang Weili out grapples and defeats Xiaonan. I don't think there's any surprise there. I don't think there's anything too outlandish there. That was a pretty good fight for women's strawweight. Anyone have any real?
Managed to get a decision, a submission win, and a knockout win all in one fight
Without
it being called. But shout out to Yan, because that is toughness on another level. And the funny thing was, even the first round, was it first round or second round, that submission, the rear naked that was in?
I feel like I want to say it might have been this first.
Oh, that
was crazy, because she wasn't even defending it. She just saw 10 seconds and said, "Do your best."
Hold out, yeah.
She weren't even trying to pull her arm or nothing. The choke was in. And she just said, if I can, she just guts it out and was like, if I can survive it, you can see.
So it was same with Charles and his fans. You see, remember in WWE when the official lifts their hands up and it's like 1, 2, and then the third one, it's like, no, I'm still alive. Them 2 submissions reminded me of, because it was like, you are out. What? It's like, no, we can't give you that one life, and then you start hooking up and all that shit.
You could see when she got up, and you can tell it's like the blood rushing.
You get the salts. They go, we can wake up.
Yes, oh my god!
Here's the thing. This is what we have to find out, because apparently, obviously, salts are illegal, but apparently they said there's a trick that they used ice instead. Apparently, there's a trick they can use with ice without having to use salt. Would need to, whatever doctors are watching this and specialize in this, you contact us and you let us know. But apparently, they were saying that because salts are illegal, the Cartman found a different way to do it with ice. I don't know how true it is. The commentator team said it though, so one of those mysteries that we'll find out.
Say this, it felt like the fight. I think I said it to Ray as well. The fight went probably around too long, where it was like, we're just gonna get through this round. I don't need to get the end because I know I've won the fight. So it just felt like it maybe went around too long, personally, for my liking. But other than that, like you guys said, solid win, solid champion. We don't know who's beating her at this particular point.
I don't know about you guys. I feel so bad for saying this, but I had such an adrenaline dump after the BMF title. I fell asleep in the third round of the women's title fight. I was like, yo, this is a great.
Do you know what? I think that was actually the best thing to happen, because sometimes, because I think Dana even said it as well, in the arena, it's like after such a high of a fight, there's no fight after that could have given the fans more energy. Like you actually needed a breather. Whereas this fight was obviously, it was good, but it was more technical rather than wild. And then by the time you got to Pereira fight, I think I mentioned to both of you, like, please let this fight just end early on either side.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping.
Yeah. Genuinely. I'm like, I can't have no 5 round after this. It needs to end. It's been real. The Holloway and Gaethje fight just gave us the biggest adrenaline dump. It needs to be done. And kudos to UFC, because for a lot of people that are cussing out 300 for not being the greatest star-studded card, my goodness, did it deliver.
Definitely, man. Here's a question for you guys with the women's title fight. If the referee stopped the fight and said, no, you're out, and it ended there and then, would you guys have been happy?
I would have understood it. Yeah,
that's the best way to put it.
I think that's the best. Because I was like, same with in the Charles fight. I was like, how is this still going on? Like, you are out. Like, again, they hooked it up. The WWE, this TKO somehow linked synergies, and it's just worked. But no, I would have understood it, and I would have been like, do you know what? Yeah, it's a fair enough decision, but fair play. They ran their course, and yeah, it didn't hurt anybody's stocks, win or defeat in this one.
I'll also go on, Tim.
Oh yeah, good. Yeah, let's go. Arman Saruki and Charles Oliveira, close fight, but like we were saying ahead of it, like Arman Sarukian, top position grappler. Did you ask me a question, Ray? And I just like kept going.
Oh no. I was saying go ahead. But
Oh, I thought you were asking me something.
no.
Yeah,
I was shaking my head. This hurt me. It's Team Charlie Olives here, so this hurt me. But go ahead, Tim.
But like Charles Oliveira gives up top position all the time, and like this was such a hard fight for him to win that he did better than expected. And it's a hard fight to judge, but like Charles Oliveira always gives up top position to anyone who asks him because he's willing to get taken down by Paul Felder, or even Kevin Lee got top position on him a couple of times. So Arman Sarukian was able to do that, land some pitter patter punches. Charles Oliveira slapped on some very close submissions. So I actually wouldn't have minded any scorecard in this case of like one guy was closer to finishing the fight, but the other guy was a bit more aggressive with a bit more control. I don't know. It's actually just like however you judge the fight, I think is fine. But Ash, you're jumping in. Go ahead.
This is a draw. I think this is a draw, man. This is the one time, because I don't feel like in MMA, and this is where the judging needs to change. I feel like draws should be given a lot more frequently than needed, than required. At the moment, there's nothing. It's like this guy wins or this guy wins. But I feel like that fight was perfect for a draw. Like they both had their moments, and Charles, arguably, he took the third round back with almost choking out Sarukian. But yeah, draw. I think I would have been happy with that.
So one thing I'll tell you, so this was on the Jordan Breen podcast like 15 years ago, and the Nevada State Athletic Commission director was on the show getting interviewed. And this was Keith Geiser at the time. And
infamous name.
And yeah, Keith Geiser is actually a really big deal. No, what he said is, and I 100% agree with you that there should be more draws. Let the fighters really finish the fight to prove on the judges' scorecards who deserves this. But what Keith said is, I'm paying those judges to win the fight. I can pick any dickhead out of the audience to say, oh, it's a close fight, it's a draw. I'm paying you to pick a winner. So if you score, he said, if you score one round a draw, that's your only round for your entire career.
What?
Yeah, he was like, I'll give you one round. That's a draw. And then after that, if you do two draws, like forget it, you're not a judge anymore. This is Keith Geiser. I know. So this is what judges are told. So that's what judges are told, and that's where their attitude comes from.
Well, I understand it a bit because if you look at just American sports culture,
that's true.
Baseball, money line, there's one winner or a second. If it's in the ninth inning, you're going on. Basketball, we'll play as many overtimes as we need to. In the NFL, they've changed it now where if it ends as a draw, I think every single person who watches the game is like deflated. There's a reason why football doesn't work as well there, because there's an option for a draw. So if you look at it from that standpoint, I understand, because let's be honest, if a fight does end as a draw, the initial first thing is we got to run it back. We got to have a rematch. And it's like, sometimes you just want a winner, whether you agree to it or not, you kind of do want a winner. So I get that point where it's like, we do want a lack of draws for that particular reason.
Yeah, just to add to that quickly, long term, I think it'll be better. So in short term, probably not great. As you mentioned, there'll be a lot of immediate rematches, this, that, and the other. But a fighter's mentality would change automatically. You know, remember how Pride had the yellow card rule, where people were like, look, I don't want to get a yellow card. Instead of that, it's like, I don't want this to go to a draw. Let me try and finish the fight. So I think long term, it'll promote that kind of thinking. But short term, it's going to be difficult. So
I agree with you entirely on that. I think that'd be great. All right, let's move forward here. I don't want to talk about Bo Nickel. I didn't want to do Yuri did well. You guys really, I like Aljamain Sterling. He's one of my guys. I like Aljo a lot. Super talented guy. Went up in weight here. What's the problem? What's the problem, boys? What's the issue?
It was a boring fight, but I thought he looked good, but he was a boring fight.
He looked good. It wasn't the most entertaining fight, but do you know what it is? My issue is, because that's my guy, but I'm not going to act like it was the most entertaining fight. I liked it from his point of view that he showed good dominance in his featherweight debut. My issue is, why is Aljamain getting flack when Calvin Kattar was the one fighting not to win? I mean, he's fighting not to lose, because at the end of the day, Aljamain was pressing the situation throughout the whole time. Aljamain was the one. Aljamain even outstruck him. That's what's making me laugh when people are just like, "Oh, all he done was grapple." No, he outstruck him as well, and then he took him down. But obviously, when you're fighting against someone who's fighting not to lose, they're just going to do as defensively possible not to get finished. And don't get me wrong, I have to give credit to Kattar for surviving, because Aljamain's got an extensive grappling game. But the people acting like, Aljamain was just there to lay in praise. Like, stop it. You blatantly did not see someone laying a prey. That was a guy that was trying to do everything he can. But if you're fighting against someone that's just like not giving you an inch so that they don't get finished, like what do you want him to do? You can't do anything. You
This is
can't.
not Aljamain. If you're moving up the weight, first let's talk about the positioning of him on the card. It was on the prelims, and people are really saying, "Why is he on the prelims?" Aljamain has Bo Nickel on the. How's he on the main card? Aljamain's on the prelim. So first, you're moving up weight. You want to put on a performance that does end with a finish. Where people are like, okay, this guy should have been on the main card. Secondly, if Bo Nickel is getting a submission, regardless of the opposition, regardless of, he's still getting a finish. And then obviously at the side of things, Dana's not your biggest fan. You don't want to tune people off where we want to be interested in Aljamain Sterling. But again, like the commentators alluded to, it's not the most entertaining. It's not the best way to debut at a new weight. So there's a lot of things going against him where, again, I understand his style is very effective to get the W. And at the end of the day, the W's are what matter.
Yeah.
But you know it's not a meritocracy. Like, as much as you win, you are winning in a certain fashion. The guy below you who's knocking people out, who might have a couple of losses and floated around, is probably going to get the title shot. And again, you're fighting that. So that's my only issue. Like, at the end of the day, we had the momentum going into this card. He kind of put a little stutter on the prelim momentum. Yuri then brought that straight back into it with his knockout win. So that was my only thing. Like, I wanted that finish, because at the end of the day, you're coming off the fact that Sean O'Malley's knocked you out. You're moving, and you put that type of performance together.
This is my argument to that, though. He did do what he needed to do, and Cato was this is my whole point.
I hear it.
It's not that. It's different. If Aljamain went in there and he laid and prayed and he done the old school Chad Mendes where it's just like, let me just drag you to the floor. I'm just going to stay in your guard and give you little pair punches. No, it's like he was trying to advance on him. He's trying to take his back. He's trying to go for submissions. But if you go up against someone that's going to stay in a shell the whole time, literally you can't do nothing against someone that's going to shell up. And that's why when people try to compare his situation to Bo Nickel and be like, oh, at least Bo finished this guy. One, Calvin Kattar is actually top 10 in his division, where Bo keeps on getting fed these, unranked guys, which is fair enough. He needs to develop. And two, Bo's guy at least was trying to win back. Whereas, like I said, Calvin Kattar was fighting not to lose. If you fight against someone that's trying not to lose, there's not too many exciting fights that are out there when you've gone against a defensive guy like that, and you win in an exciting way. It rarely happens, because exciting finishes come when the other person's also coming to win. But when you against someone who's like going there not to lose, I can't think of anyone off the top of my head where there's an exciting finish that's come because, they had an opponent that's trying not to lose. You're going to get boring fights like that. And unfortunately, Aljamain's on the receiving end, but on the positive, he beat a top 10 guy in February. And there's me and Ash were talking earlier about the, potential fights, whether it's being Josh Emmett or Yair Rodriguez who wants to take that fight. So there's some exciting fights there. So as long as them not try to come to win, then expect to see the best of Aljamain after.
I think if they want to force an exciting fight with Aljamain Sterling, they should have him versus Movsar, because two wrestlers fighting each other out, it's going to be a striking battle. And I think for Aljo, that's a perfect matchup. He's got better striking than Movsar, man, all day.
Is Evloev a grappler? I haven't seen too much of him.
Movsar, if you love, he's a very good grappler. Really strong wrestling. Those two fight, I think Aljo's got it.
I think Ortega's going to get that fight before him, but Ortega's right there. It's so deep because of how good Holloway fought. Everyone's just forgotten about Ortega's literally the guy that's waiting in the wing at featherweight, and he needs one more win. So I think they might go Ortega Evloev, but we'll see what happens, man.
I hear it. I think for me, what I would actually not mind, again, in terms of style side potentially, but you could look at someone, again, Arnold Allen, the fact that he's fought against Max, so he's a name, and then on top of that, bring it to UFC Manchester.
No, that will hurt me, man. No. I can't.
Let-
Give someone that's coming off a loss as well, man. I can't see Arnold Allen take that fight, man. It's too
I
scary.
mean, it is in the UK. Like at the end of the day, Aljamain's still a big name. I would say someone like that can be potential, but we'll see what happens. But like I said, for me, I want that little bit more. Fair enough, I understand your point.
Yeah.
I've just never been a big Aljamain guy.
That's fair.
I don't know what it is. It's just never hit for me. And I'll be honest, I was talking to me, Xiaonan Weili.
Sorry, Abbas.
It might have been 5 in the morning, but I was celebrating. But again, like I said, I'm happy to see what the options are because featherweight, again, is a very open division.
For sure.
Let's see what he can do. But again, I wouldn't be. He needs some excitement to it because, again, like you guys have said, Dana's not there for him. Like Dana's not over. So at the end of the day, if he continues, unfortunately, as much as it's his fault or the opponent, if he continues to do what he does, I'm not saying he's going to get caught in like that, but he won't be high in that pecking order.
Yeah, that's fair. It's a bit of a like you put your exclamation mark on the fight.
Yeah.
Ash, you were gonna say something?
Oh no, there's nothing. Nothing.
You know what? That came to me
to do.
because when you started saying UFC Manchester, I don't know if either the guy would take it because they're both coming off losses, and I don't know who wants to risk coming off a second loss. Arnold Allen versus Yair Rodriguez.
Well, this thing, Arnold's on back-to-back. He's on back-to-back losses. So.
Oh yeah, to Max Holloway. No, give.
If you don't want to take Max,
I love Arnold Allen. Take it easier fight next, man. Just to get a win.
There is an obvious pick here, and it's actually it's a good one because it's champion versus champion or former champion versus champion.
Go on.
Aljamain Sterling versus Alexander Volkanovski.
You did mention this.
Oh, now we're talking.
You did mention this.
That's a good one, isn't it? Yeah.
I'll put this out there straight away.
Yeah.
That's too big of a fight for Aljamain to take right now.
I agree with
he
you.
loses. Yeah,
that's a big fight, man. You know.
But this is the problem that it will lower his stocks for me personally if he shoots that high too quickly.
For me, man. Stylistically, I like that fight for Aljo. Like he's got good counter wrestling. He's longer than a Volkanovski as well. I think it's a winnable fight. I'm not saying he will win. And Volkanovski's kind of, I wouldn't say broken goods. That's a bit rude, but you know he's less durable. Let's put it that way.
It will hurt, man.
Getting knocked out twice in a row within a few months. It's a tough one, but let's move forward here. And I will take no bad mouthing of my best friend, my BFF, Kayla Harrison. Ash booked her on the show. We got her WhatsApp number and everything now.
Yeah.
Her best friend. Somehow she made 135. When she was in the Olympics, she was competing at 170. How the heck she makes 135 is beyond me. But Kayla Harrison, just stupendous performance. Holly Holm, she hasn't been a good striker in like a decade. She stumbles into the clinch and she still couldn't change her game plan against a judoka.
I don't know what she was doing. Like,
what was she doing?
Yeah, man.
Who game plans you to do what you do? Like, it made no sense. But
it was so ill-advised, man. And she reversed it. She did well.
Yeah.
But it's like if you did that once, then you start backing the fuck up, yeah. And you're like, listen, if you try that again, like, I'll do it again. Give them that little bit of warning. But instead of like, oh yeah, I'm a judoka now. I'm like, no, you're not, man.
You got away with it.
Yeah.
And this is Holly Holm who wrote the instruction manual on how to be the matador against a bull rushing judo fighter against Ronda. And now 10 years later, she's like, I don't know, I'll clinch with the judoka. But anyway, boys, let's wrap it up here. Last words goes to you, Ray Abbas. Abbas, I'll pass it to you. Shout out who you need to shout out. Thank who you need to thank. All that good stuff.
Hey, listen, shout out Dana White. He said it was going to be the biggest card. He delivered. Now you're sticking it up for 301. But we're going to let you pass because you give us excitement. But yeah, outside of that, guys, our content's on iBox Club, so you can follow us on social media as well. And also my own personal Instagram now is up and running. Abbas _ 3 times. But yeah, outside of that, I appreciate you guys for letting us come on, man.
Thank you, guys. It's always good stuff. All right, gentlemen, thanks so much for your time. Let's get out of here.
Thank you.